Welcome to IT Reality. I'm your host, H-Town Vinny.
And I'm Richard Kenyan.
And I'm Nathan Bennett.
With over 4 decades of combined IT operational experience,
we may have an opinion.
Or not.
And now on with the show.
Let's go!
Hey everyone, IT Reality checking back in. Richard.
Hey guys.
And we're going to talk today about something that we find kind of interesting when we talk about VMworld. Let's start with the food, because a lot of people talk about these box lunches. What was your take on it?
You know, I travel a lot for work. I traveled a lot before I traveled for work, and I don't mind hotel food. I really don't. It's you're not looking to get a 5-star dinner at a hotel. You're looking to get some energy in the morning, get some protein, get some fruit, and maybe some starch. That's all I'm asking for. And every VMworld I've been at absolutely has decent boxed food. We've got quinoa, we've got salad, we've got fruit, we've got eggs, we've got sausage, we've got turkey sausage, we've gluten-free, we have kosher, we have vegetarian. What are people complaining about? It's part of the event, and they're not going to give you a full 5-course meal every time you sit down. You're just looking for grab and go. That's all you're looking for. And it's better than McDonald's. People's not going to stop complaining about the food.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that's not a hot take. I think that's a pretty honest take, because at the end of the day, we made the comment in our last video that it's like an adult summer camp for nerds.
Yep.
The food in the summer camp's not great either.
No.
I mean,
it's not the point.
The point is why you're here. The people, the sessions, the learning, the announcements, the fun, and maybe the parties. Did you go to the party last night?
I did not go to the party last night by choice, which is the first for me, actually. I saw the band. It was a local band. They had 92 followers on Twitter, and I went, I'm out. And, that seems to be one of the cost-cutting features for the smaller conference this year. They just didn't even bother with setting up anything good. I heard from a few of my colleagues and my friends that it was not really good, unfortunately. The DJ after the band, I've heard, wasn't really into what he was doing. He was just kind of putting on music and not really paying attention to the vibe of the crowd, which is not really something you want. It was a 50-minute wait to get onto the bus. It was a 25-minute wait to get the bus to the Chase Stadium. It was another 20 minutes to get off the bus into the stadium, which then you had to walk all the way around the stadium instead of parking in front. And when I looked at that, and I was originally planning on going to the party, I immediately went, I can take a scooter for $5 and be there in 10 minutes. No, that's a waste of time.
For those of you all that are math adverse, that's over 90 minutes of just trying to get into the party.
Yep, which is not that far away. You could have walked it. It would have taken you 40 minutes if you wanted to walk with a group of people. We did that when the AT&T Stadium, just a little bit closer to Moscone Center, had the NetApp party and the VMware party a few years ago, and you could just walk it, and you could have walked this too. There's no reason to have a bus other than you need the bus for a conference of this size.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I've heard of people that take Ubers as well, or a group of people that take Uber. So that's always an option as well. You don't have to take this free transportation. I mean, it is a summer camp, and so, I don't know, maybe sing camp songs on the bus, or
I don't know. But you don't want to be with some of those people after the party on that bus.
No.
It's not a good experience.
No. A lot of toots, a lot of poots, and we're talking farts over here.
Yeah, I don't know why you're talking farts. I was talking professional image drops significantly when they've had that much alcohol.
Yeah, that is also true.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it hurts your branding if you're associated with those kind of partiers.
Yeah. So instead of going to the party, what would you say you did? You went to
there was a happy hour before the party that was thrown by Insight, which is an Arizona MSP. I had never met them before. I'm like, wow, these guys put on a great party. They were very friendly. The sales guys were kind of telling us what they did. They partnered with NetApp and NVIDIA for the party. It was great. It was at a little wine bar around the corner from the Moscone Center. They had nice layout of food. It was open air, spacious. The place was brightly lit, not loud music. I ran into a vExpert from Slack that I did not know. So another piece of networking that came out just by being in the right place at the right time. We had a great conversation for 45 minutes. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we talked yesterday also about the idea of graduating, but we've got a new class coming up. We got new people to meet and talk to, and I know that's a different type of soft skill. Like, there's a soft skill like me and you talking to each other, hey, what'd you do since the last week that I talked? But it's a different soft skill to say, hi, I am XYZ. I have nothing about you. I have no, I have fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we're going to be the best buddies. And now I have to overcome that
Yep.
and try to talk through it. I'm saying fear, uncertainty, and doubt because FUD was thrown around after our last discussion, and sometimes we forget what FUD stands for.
Yeah.
But anyway, the soft skill of like meeting someone completely new and saying, hey, how can we work with each other? How can we, get to know each other?
And that's a soft skill that will serve you well in your career if you know how to do the small talk. And if you are lacking in that skill or are looking for improvement, just start with the basics. Weather, sports, pets, what kind of tech do you run, and what do you do for a living? There you go. That's it.
I had a friend once that just said, just ask questions.
Yep.
Do not talk to, if they ask you questions, respond.
Yep.
But if they do not ask you questions,
Ask them
only
questions.
ask questions back.
Yep.
And so if they say, if you start with, where are you from? Oh, I'm from, Texas. What area? Oh, I'm from this place. How's the weather like?
Yep.
Always think about what they're saying and the areas around the questions around what they're saying, so you can ask those questions and just keep the conversation going. Because
Yep.
at the end of the day, someone is really going to appreciate you taking interest in where they are, what they're doing, all those type of things.
Yep. And one thing that at happy hours, it's in an enclosed space, so as an Italian, I talk with my hands. But one thing that I learned from actually the VMUG Leader Summit a few years ago, they had a public speaking presenter have us stand up next to each other. And we don't know everybody, so we were standing up next to relative strangers, and he's like, put your arms like this and try to talk and have a conversation without asking questions. It was very difficult. But if you open your arms up like this, or keep them a little bit by your side, or kind of put them in your pocket, or one hand on your jacket, which I know you can't see my hands here, but it's not this.
Yeah.
This is very confrontational, and it throws off a very closed off vibe. And if you're in a party situation, it makes it even more obvious that you don't want to talk to anybody. So try to keep your hands open a little bit. Hold the drink, have your food, set it down, lean on it. Just don't do this. It's awful.
Fair enough. I like that. The other thing that we wanted to talk to you was, so we talked about the food, we talked about the party, but today's Thursday. Today's the end, right? So we have about a half day, and then session's in about 1 o'clock, and everyone's flying out either tonight or tomorrow. You're flying out later, of course.
Yep.
But we all gotta pack that suitcase.
Oh, yeah.
Any tips for that?
Well, I learned after my first VMworld that I come back with a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And even when I'm not trying to pick up stuff because I've been, here so many times, I kind of know what I want. You still come back with stuff. You come back with prizes. You come back with T-shirts. You come back with things that you wouldn't even think of if you run into somebody or like, hey, take this home. So my tip is pack a suitcase in your suitcase. So take a big, not carry-on, but a checked bag. You have to pay for it, but take one checked bag and put another checked bag in it. And that bag could be of any size, determining how much you want to bring back with you or how much you brought in the first place. But it saves you a fee going forward. And on the way back, it saves you from destroying all the stuff that you end up taking with you. You can put it in that bag, and then you can either carry it on for free, or you can obviously pay another checked baggage fee. But you're not paying $150 to UPS or FedEx to ship everything you got, back to your house. So that's my number one tip.
That's a great tip, because at the end of the day, when we talk about a bag, we're not talking about another hard shell. We're not talking about another soft shell. It
Duffel style bag.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's soft, collapsible bag to get in. Just don't do too hard carry-ons, because that's a lot to carry.
A lot of people forget about duffel bags.
Yep.
And this is where duffel bags really shine, because you don't know what you're going to be going back with. Like the experts this year are going back with a big box with a small little electronic inside of it.
Yep.
Whatever we want to call
And
it.
they also gave us glass Steiners too at one of the events. So the Cohesive was doing great expert gifts this year. And now how am I going to get 2 beer steins back? Well, you're going to wrap it in a t-shirt, you're going to put socks in it, and then you're going to put one of them in the middle of everything else in one bag. Do the same thing and then put it in the middle of the bag on the other one. This way it should relatively be safe making it, and you're not going to end up having it get hit on the outside or collapsed, and any shock that it does take's got to go through 2 layers of clothes.
All right, and you got T-shirts and you got socks being given from every vendor that's
I
out
didn't
there.
get any socks this year.
You didn't get any socks
No
this year?
socks this year.
Story time from the expo.
Yeah.
I went to Google's desk, and they said, okay, so go to every single one of our demos, and you'll get a stamp. When you have a stamp for everyone, come back here and we'll give you socks. I thought that was way more work for what they were trying to give me.
Yeah, I would agree on that assessment.
I went over, so I was like, okay, deuces. I went over to AWS, scanned my badge, gave me socks. What did I do? I went back to Google and I said, look, I went to AWS, they just scanned my badge and they gave me socks. And I showed them the AWS socks that they gave me. They immediately gave me Google socks. So just because booth people tell you what you have to do doesn't mean you can't use competition to work for you. On the other hand, when we talk about these different areas, and you said something about socks and t-shirts, t-shirt count.
Yeah.
How many t-shirts are you going home with?
Not many. I think 5 or 6, and I may have lost count, but that's a far cry from when I first started doing the conference circuit, where I came back with 20 or 30 or 40, because I hit the first 3 years of VMworld that I went to. I hit every single vendor on the floor, and there were twice as many vendors those years as there were this year's. Now you add in vExpert from Cohesity and SDK, which is Julie Colati's company, which is a very lovely, good partner to the vExpert community.
Absolutely.
So all of those shirts that I get, the jackets from VMUG that were just jackets or shirts or whatever, then being a leader, I get all of that. So my entire wardrobe at home is about 75 to 80% IT t-shirts, and the only shirts that I have purchased since starting my IT career have been, I think, maybe 10 pop culture shirts, and then 10 shirts my wife has gotten me for lovely gifts for birthdays and things like that. And everything I have comes from IT. So conferences pay for themselves eventually.
Eventually, yeah. This is the only T-shirt that I've purchased for myself at a Dude Perfect thing, and. But I think I'm going back with about 15 T-shirts. I really didn't expect to have that many T-shirts.
Yeah,
as well.
I try actively now not to bring so much swag back
It's
because
hard not to say. It's hard to say no.
Oh
They're
no,
like,
it's really
hey, you
easy
want
to
a free
say no.
T-shirt?
It's like no, I do not want a free T-shirt. But then I get T-shirts and I use them as painting shirts or lawn shirts or work shirts or pool shirts, or just the shirts you're going to destroy. Sure, I'll take a shirt, fine, and then I come back with a few of them. But
so I gave my expo story. Do you have an expo story?
I have a secret expo story. So I'm gonna let out a little tip. If you're trying to brand yourself and you find yourself with a trinket or a kitschnau or a sticker, if you put out a stack of stickers, or insert your swag here, and then you leave it and you walk away, I have found that most people just don't take it. Like it doesn't look like anybody's taking it. The traffic's not there. But what I found is if you put out like 5 or 6 in one spot, and then 5 or 6 in another spot at the conference, or 10 or 15 at another more highly trafficked foot area, people will grab them and fight other people for them because there's only a limited supply. And then the next day, you put the other iteration of your sticker out, and then they freak out again. And so you get this little buzz going around, your community that you're in. Take your pick. It doesn't have to be one of ours. Just this works for anything. That you're like, hey, where did you get that? I haven't seen that before. And then they tell you, and then you have to go find it. And then when they see it, they run up and grab it. And that's my secret to getting people to grab stickers.
Yep, and it worked.
And it works.
For all the people that now have IT Reality stickers and coasters, you're welcome.
Yeah, and Buffalo Chicken Wings, Buffalo Normal, Buffalo 8-Bit Head, and Buffalo Skyline. I put them at the VMUG booth. I put them at the VMUG booth on the floor. I put them at the blogger table and the vExpert table community, and I may have dropped a few from the sessions that I've been in, just kind of put one here, one there. And Chris Wolf and I think one other executive grabbed it. No, Cody did the other day. That's who it was.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. So, we're wrapping up this day. Anything you'd like to say as we close it out?
No, it's been a good conference. It's been the best part of it. It's been reconnecting with people in person. It's been a very long time since we have been able to do that as a community. The networking that we've been able to do to get some job acquaintances, some professional skill sets that are going to carry through the rest of the year with all of the new releases and how to keep up with all of that stuff. That's going to help you in your professional career. It's fantastic. Sessions are good, but the connections you make after the sessions or during the dinners or during the floor and talking to new vendors, those are the things that carry through to the next time that you come and out throughout the year for your professional career.
I think it would be good to have another podcast session or however we want to do it on branding and creating your brand. If you have the opportunity to hear Amanda Blevin's talk on that, absolutely phenomenal talk. Changed my career for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
And if I was going to end this with anything that is very optimistic, but something I feel like we all feel a little bit scared to say, but see you next year.
Yeah, we are hoping to see you next year.
Take care.
Take care.